Hello. I have a question about declining, meaning like before death. I work in a residential care facility. It's where people live who need assistance with daily things. And I really don't like it at all. It was the only job I could find. And I have a problem with people who are so-called diagnosed with something, and then someone else has to become responsible for their well-being, whether they're in a facility or maybe a parent or something like that. And so I've been looking for another job, but I know that I'm pushing against this one, and that's why I can't find another one.
So you're declining. Same thing, just a longer, slower way out. We're having fun with you, not really. But when you really don't like what you're doing, there are two ways to improve it. Either find things about it that you like, or get out. So we say, make a decision and then line up with the decision. Well, so for now, you've made the decision. I'm compatible in the sense that it provides income. And I'm compatible in the sense that it provides focus. And I'm compatible in the sense that it provides contrast. So it's putting more into my vortex. And it is evoking from me some really strong questions about people making their transitions and about relationships and about how families get along and how they care about each other. There are many things about this experience that you can line up with, just like there are some things that you are having a harder time. So while we're sort of avoiding your question, we'll come back to it if you want us to, but there's a bigger thing that we want to talk to you about, and that is we would not encourage anyone to stay in a place that they really don't want to be. And you can turn that around in two ways. You can leave, or you can find things about it that you want. And you know what's really interesting? When you dominantly don't want to be there, but you look for some positive aspects that you can line up with on a day-by-day basis, something else will show up for you that you really do like. Isn't that interesting? The path to getting out of a place you don't want is to like it. People think, oh no, if I pretend like I like this place that I don't like, well, we didn't say pretend. We said find something that you really do appreciate. So Abraham, if I find things that I appreciate, won't the universe say, well, don't have to worry about her. She's right where she wants to be. Let's leave her there. No, because your vortex is full of so much more, especially when it's someplace that you spend so much time. So you can't spend so much time not liking it and be moving toward what you want. And do you know, might be a little hard to hear, but the dissatisfaction you feel is not because of the place where you're working. It's because you're not flowing toward who you really are and what you really want. You don't have to go someplace else to get those juices flowing. And when you get those juices flowing, then there are all kinds of people moving through there, all kinds of opportunities for the magic. It's not magic, but for the opportunities to show themselves to you. You see what we're getting at? So that's the big question we heard. Do you want to go back to the smaller one, or is it now irrelevant?
I know I need to either make peace with where I am or...
I want to make peace with where I am because I want to feel satisfaction, because there is never a happy ending to an unhappy journey. It just doesn't work out that way. So is there anything that comes to mind that you appreciate about being there?
Oh, yes. There are things I like. The people I work with, and it's a nice place to work, and the day-to-day work is fine. I mean, I work in an office, actually, and
yes.
So, but it's just what the company is that I don't like more than.
But now you see what you just did. You were doing that, and then you did that.
Uh-huh.
You were starting to move in the direction of satisfaction, and then you put the brakes on it. So you didn't allow enough momentum to go to really provide another opportunity for you. You just allowed enough momentum to torture you when you don't go. It's a human tendency. So, you want to try again?
I do really like everyone I work with. And the day-to-day work actually it's okay. I enjoy some aspects of it. I like the free coffee. And it's a nice building, nice place to work, nice people. It's a nice location.
There are things about it that are satisfying. I like the continuity of it. I like the fact that I'm not out trying to find a new place to go every day. I like that they're expecting me to come and I'm expecting to be there. I like the things that I've learned. I'm better at it than I was the day I got there. I know that they feel appreciation for the things that I'm doing. I like to find more efficient ways of doing some things. There are a lot of things about this that I am enjoying. Really, that is the path to something that you like so much more. It is. Does that feel counterintuitive? Not when you think about it energetically, does it?
No.
Now, what was this other thing that you have a little problem with?
Maybe, I'm not sure what you're getting at.
The whole reason that the place exists is what you're at odds with?
Because they say that Alzheimer's is a disease. And just the thought of this whole, like the facilities and everyone who works there and the cooks and the administrative people, like everything, the whole thing is based on disease. And it bothers me. Even though, like, I've talked to my friends and they say, oh, well, you know, they're providing a service and you're helping people. And I just can't make peace with it, I guess.
Step back into a more general place for just a little bit and acknowledge that there's contrast all around and that there are unwanted things and wanted things all around. And then think about people, like this room full of people, who are on the leading edge, who are fine-tuning and who want to work the bugs out of their vibration and who are wanting to give themselves their greatest advantage. And think about them moving from resistance into allowing and resistance into allowing, and think about the death experience being, there's no death, but what humans call death being exactly that. It's moving from resistance into allowing, and then think about how large numbers of people are in the process of moving from a resistant environment into a non-resistant environment, and some of them have found very clever ways of sort of suppressing the resistance that they feel even before they actually make their transition. And so diseases are just about that. It's about people finding ways to cope with the discord that they don't understand. And just because you understand it and they don't doesn't mean that it doesn't serve something to some. If you were watching a new little one just learning to walk and he's very top heavy and awkward and he just keeps falling down, you wouldn't say, "Get up, you little dummy." You would enjoy him finding his balance, and so you could look at that in that same way. There are all kinds of things that are being served. What's happening to you here is that you are acknowledging the value of thought, and you're wanting to get good at it, and you want to open to the flow of well-being. Even though relative to this subject, you really weren't quite opening to the flow of well-being, but you want to. You're acknowledging when you don't feel satisfied and when you do feel satisfied. And so you want to come into alignment with who you are, and you want to be an uplifter. And what we want to say to those like you who are teachers, room full of teachers here, that the way you uplift is think in terms of soothing. And so think of that place as a soothing place. Is a place that soothes. You heard us say today, we said it very pointedly, that we've got all the answers. We're really good. We understand the laws of the universe. We're like your own inner being. We know exactly where you stand in relationship with everything you want. And we not only know the quickest way to get there, we know your path of least resistance way to get there. That's how smart we are. Really smart. However, we also know that until you ask a question and you find alignment and you let the answer in, we cannot present a perfect enough answer to make any difference. We're not speaking to you. We know you're getting what we're saying, but we're saying it to you because we want you to understand there are a whole lot of people around you on this planet that are living life just fine who don't know any of this stuff. Because life just sets them up for success anyway. Life shows them contrast, which causes them to ask. Their inner beings are there, calling them. Sometimes they go, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they have to croak before they go. Sometimes they figure it out along the way. And in none of it there is any wrongdoing. There are choices. You may be saying, well, I don't like so much to expose myself to something that I don't really believe in, but you believe in soothing, and you believe in uplifting, and you believe in helping. We know you do. And so you really are wanting to soothe yourself about it rather than asking that it all change. You just want to find a way of acknowledging the value of what it is while you look for something that suits you better. And we think it's interesting because you're not saying, I want to stay there and reform this place and make it entirely different. But that really is more what's in your heart, because you're sort of an improver of the planet, or you wouldn't have come at all. You see what we're getting at? So we're not saying that you need to stay there and that you need to stay there till you like it. We're just saying, while you're there, why not like it? And if you can't figure that out, then get out. Yeah? Sometimes people will say, Abraham, I have this relationship with a job or with a person or with something, and it's awful in this way and this way and this way and this way. And do you think I should leave? Now, you didn't say that. You said, I can't leave. You didn't even give yourself an out at all. Can't leave. I'm trapped like a rat. But sometimes they'll say, do you think I should leave? And we play with them a little bit and we say, well, if there are things you don't like, then you need to get out of there. But then you're going to find things you don't like in town, so you get out of there. And now there's things in this nation, so you better get out of there. And now there's things on this planet. Now we don't know where to send you. It's so much more satisfying and so much quicker to just ask yourself the question before you take any action, before you take the action of staying or going. That's a funny way for us to put it, isn't it? Because it seems like you're doing one or the other. Well, not really. Before you take the action of staying or going. That's tricky. Are you following us? Seems like I must be staying because I'm not going. Not really. Before you take the action of staying or going, just ask yourself, what receiving mode am I in? When I feel like I want to get out of here, what receiving mode am I in? When I feel like I want to stay, what receiving mode am I in? When I feel like I'm moving toward what I really want, what receiving mode am I in? You're going to find your freedom from resistance so quickly. And whether you stay there or whether you go somewhere else is irrelevant, really, but not really. It's irrelevant in that you could be happy anywhere, but hear this. You deserve to be the happiest that you can possibly be. That's the question, isn't it? Am I as happy as I could possibly be? No. Well, should I make adjustments? Yes. And then what? Do what you feel inspired to do. But don't take the action from the wrong inspiration. That's what we're saying. And that's why you're tentative. Are you all following this? Because sometimes when you're not thinking about what receiving mode you're in, you're just collecting the data and you've had all you can take. And so you say, I'm taking this action. And then you wish you hadn't later because it got worse, not better. Well, that's because you took the action from the receiving mode of what you didn't want. And you do that a few times and it makes you afraid to act at all. So then you get yourself stuck in all kinds of places that you don't want to be. But you say, oh, I remember, I've been here before and I took action and it got worse. So that's why I'm stuck. That's why I can't leave. Well, you can leave. You just want to leave from the right receiving mode. If you were talking directly to your inner being, and you are, and you said to your inner being, should I stay or should I go? Your inner being is saying to you, you should always go to the next new place. You should always go to the next satisfying place. If you were to say, should I go today? Your inner being would say, not a good time. Because right now, if you go somewhere, it'll be in the opposite direction of where you mean to go. Following? So then you say, well, how do I know when it's the right time to go? And your inner being is saying to you, you won't be able to stop yourself. It will feel so exciting. Good?